All right, everybody, we are live tonight. And as you can see, I am joined by a Brady bunch of other sci-fi indie authors because today we're going to be talking about a super huge, massive giveaway that's happening right now where we have 10 books, 10 sci-fi books that's going to be presented to 2 winners across the globe. Okay. This is a huge possibility for lots of people to get into some new books that they might love, they might hate, but hopefully they love and enjoy. That's what we're here for. Send 10 books out to 2 people around the globe. And as you can see, I'm joined by a lot of people today, and I'm going to kind of pass it off to Bryan because he is the mastermind behind this giveaway for us tonight. Bryan Wilson, how is it going tonight for you, sir?
Hello, everyone. I'm doing good. How you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing great. I'm ready for this giveaway. I'm just happy that I was able to make the cut here. Very end of the cut. The book is coming out here pretty soon, so I'm happy to be here with all you guys. Already have established books out. It's amazing. So thanks for having me, to be honest.
Yeah, no, of course. You know, I had my top 15, had to whittle down who I thought the special 10 were, but no. But yeah, so this is the 10 Wonders of Sci-Fi giveaway. It is we are all indie authors, obviously, and it is we have 10 very unique books, kind of all different subgenres of the overall category, different tropes. I think we're going to try and go over that tonight as well as we can. And it is a Instagram exclusive giveaway, so you have to be a member of Instagram to enter. And yeah, the easiest way is if you follow one of us. You will have seen probably our posts, the main posts each have all shown all 10 authors. You follow all 10 authors, then you go to the link in our bios. There it is. And, my bio, it says 10 Wonders of Sci-Fi giveaway. Click that link, enter your email, and you've entered. If you don't follow any of us, my tag is brian.wilson.author. You can go to mine. I think it's like the 5th post down. You'll see this image. And yeah, you click that. That'll give you all the authors again to follow. And then you just go to the bio, click the link, and join that way. If you want extra entries, you can tag friends in the post, share to your stories. For each unique friend tagged, you will gain an extra entry. And that's it. And this is running till, I think we're going to take entries until 7 p.m. tomorrow night, the 25th. And from that point, we are, over the next day or two, we're going to select a winner. We'll reach out to them to confirm, and we will let everyone know who it is. We very much appreciate the support we've gotten on this so far. I at least had a goal in mind going into this, and I think we checked right before. We're 3 away from reaching that goal. Hopefully this stream here will put it over the top. And yeah, it's just, again, as indie authors, this whole point of this is to try and gain some an audience to our newsletters and whatnot, because that is kind of the one way we can push our work without having to rely on algorithms of some sort. So it's yeah, we appreciate the support, and I hope there's some more here who want to enter.
And thanks everyone as well for being here tonight with us. It's we've got people from around the world as well. Not only can you win these books from anywhere in the world, we have authors from across the globe as well. We have some people here not with us tonight because they are on the opposite side of the globe, over in Australia, right? Ooh. So I'm over here in Florida, so it's hot as crap right now for me. And I know people are sending pictures out online saying, I'm able to put my coat on for the first time. I'm like, no, I'm still in shorts, t-shirt. It's too hot for that, but I'm so happy to be here. It's hot down here in Florida. Joe, you said you wear
coat on in Florida, no?
For a week, 1 week only.
Okay.
And I love that week.
So lucky.
I love it when it comes. So everyone who is watching us right now live and on the replay, we're kind of just gonna have some fun tonight. All right, just talk about books. We each have a very distinct book, like what Bryan was saying. We're all in sci-fi. But I found it was really interesting when I was looking through the description of all these books here is that we're not just, single sci-fi stuck in a silo. We have a whole blend of different genres that we're mashing together, where in my book, is a mix of cyberpunk and which is a lot of fun, Joe. So no need to laugh there. Cyberpunk is awesome. Cyberpunk.
I'm laughing at Bo's comment.
Oh, fun is Joe's middle name. There we go. And then we go back to Joe real quick. We have a superhero tale told in space. I can personally vouch for that one because I read that one and I freaking loved it. I read Bryan's as well.
Thank you so much.
Enjoyed it so much. There's some amazing authors here, and I myself am so ready to dive into your books. So hopefully, and I can't win your books, but I want to read them here in the future. So, Bryan, did you want to go down a list of us right now and just kind of like talk about our books real quick, or?
Yeah, that's fine. We can maybe, I don't know, go in a circle here or something. You want me to start?
All right, Bryan Wilson.
All right. I'll start, and then at the end, for those who aren't here, I got a little blurb of everyone, so we can read and give a taste. But
do them last. They didn't show up.
that's the plan. But yeah, I'm Bryan. I am the author of the Power of the Stars series. There is 2 full novels out in it so far, and a standalone novella set in the universe. And my books are very much a science fantasy space opera. The reviewers have likened them to Ender's Game meets Star Wars, Ender's Game meets Wheel of Time. I've gotten some Red Rising comps. It's very much devised to be a 50-50 genre blend of science fiction and fantasy. And it's basically the overall premise of my main story is you got a group of young guys, the bros, if you will. They're ordinary guys. They live on contemporary Earth, young 20s. Their life and basically everyone's on the planet is turned upside down when an alien fleet arrives in the skies, and that fleet attacks certain parts of the world. Our characters get caught up in it, and from there they're kind of thrust into a intergalactic power struggle. The world comes to learn there's multiple other planets where humans live on. And these plants have purposefully left Earth. Perfect picture. Thank you.
Look at these covers here too, man. Look at these covers.
Very nice.
But yeah, so they purposely left Earth in the dark, and I've kept them distant, kept them kind of away from all these other planets and the power struggle going on. There's a reason behind that. One of the main ones is all the people and all these planets outside of Earth can wield a power called Solaire. It's my magic system. And yeah, it's kind of the force, but everyone can use it. So it's completely ingrained into these worlds, into their tech, into their societies. And that's kind of where the story takes off from there. The characters got to decide if they want to leave Earth, go to these kind of futuristic fantasy worlds, if you will, and learn this power to defend themselves.
And talking about your covers real quick, Bryan, we also have this little text right here in this image, fun banter. I can vouch for that as well. There is some fun banter in these stories. And I really like how you brought it back to Ender's Game, because I totally got that vibe from reading The Forsaken Planet only. So
yeah, it was after I read Ender's Game that I started a long time ago getting my first ideas for these stories.
Love it. Well, I guess I'll go. Are we gonna go left here? I'll go next. Wow. Holy crap. Well, thanks.
You got this.
Put me on the spot. My name is
you put you on the spot. You can't complain. It was your choice. You could have just gone to Amber.
Well, we're already here. My name is Aaron. I wrote this book right here called Falling into Oblivion. And I got this book today, the actual version of the book you can buy online once it goes live on October 4th. It's a cyberpunk thriller, and a good way to describe it is that it's a mix of the Dresden Files and Blade Runner. Those are two IPs that I'm a huge fan of. I love the Dresden Files. Harry Dresden is just chef's kiss, an amazing character. And then also Blade Runner is like my favorite movie, my favorite atmosphere of all time. So I had to just use this to his inspiration for writing this book here, which is a cyberpunk thriller again about a detective who is trying to make ends meet for his family, right? And that's a little bit about it, but it touches on a lot of the cyberpunk like tropes and ideas that you expect to find in the genre. So we have a dystopian world, we have social inequality, we have body modifications, we have technology, and we also have a little bit of a twist. We have some cybernetic dragons going on here. So I'm just saying, it was a lot of fun to write. I'm super excited for the story to finally be available to people on October 4th. So I'm pumped. I'm ready. I'm here.
That's
I'm
really
here.
soon. Woohoo.
Yeah.
I know.
Can't wait to read it myself.
Mr. Superhero, Joe Berne.
I guess all the men go first. Okay, so I'm JC Berne. I wrote the Hybrid Helix. These are my babies. This is the book that is up for the giveaway. This is the first book in the series, Wistful Ascending. Book 6 just went to my line editor yesterday, so I'm very relaxed.
How do you do it?
What are these? These are well, I've been doing it for a while. It's a space opera superhero story. We have a main character has been around the block a few times, and he's trying to get away from his violent past and live a quiet life. And of course, he gets one, and he just chills on the space station and drinks coffee for an entire book. Except that can't possibly be what happens, because the guy trying to live a quiet life can never get it, because then there's no book. Or I guess he could have written a cozy space opera. I don't know. A cozy and space opera don't really go together. Maybe that's my next genre when I'm done with this series. So, he gets in shenanigans, and if very, very, very Marvel Comics sort of Guardians of the Galaxy vibe. There's some humor in there, but it's not really a comedy. There's some action in there. It's probably more of an action story. There's a lot of reviews out there. So Andy Peliquin just dropped a very kind review that made me very happy. So yeah. So again, there's 5 books out. The covers are all by Chris McGrath. Yeah, there's a giant shark in the back of Return of the Griffin, which people never see. They're always like, I didn't even notice the shark. And I'm like, how did you not notice the giant shark looming behind the main character? So this is funny.
It's on that yellow suit, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So my wife is terrified of sharks because her parents took her to see Jaws in the theater in the front row when it came out when she was 5. So she can't handle sharks. So of course I had to put a giant shark on the cover. So she wanted to read the book. So she had to get like one of those elementary school like book covers to put around the book so she wouldn't see the cover while reading the book. So she just finished it like yesterday. But I don't know if she liked it or not. I won't let her tell me. I'm very frightened of her response.
Is that a dinosaur in one of the covers?
Yeah, so
Look at that thing.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
That is fantastic.
there's Shadow of Hyperion. So there
Velociraptor.
It's not worth explaining, but they are undead supernatural dinosaur variants, different evolutionary path, but basically that he has to fight. And I don't remember his shirt being off anywhere in the text, but Chris McGrath wanted to paint him with his shirt off. So I'm like, hey man, you paint him any way you want. But there's definitely quite a bit of dinosaur violence. So if you notice, he gets clothed less and less. So we got really nervous about the cover to book 5. Because we're like, Chris, you don't have a lot more to take off this guy at this point. And I can't afford for Amazon to just ban the book, right? That's not cool. But luckily for the cover to book 5, he got a full I just got these. I just got the. So luckily, I said he's in a snow place. It's like, well, if he's in snow, he should have a shirt on. So he's got a shirt back. It's got a shirt back. These are not the bear people. These are the cat people. It's not so easy to see. They're new in book 5. Everyone likes the cat people so far. So far so good. I have a lot of aliens in my books because it's space, and people like the bears. And I have a lot of drinking and a lot of eating. So some people have said these books are like Yelp reviews on a space station.
I don't know.
That's fun.
Just not inaccurate, not inaccurate. So
People who read the Yelp, right? So there you go.
yeah. I mean, if you want to read about a lot of space food and space bears and space heroes, then
Bears.
you could
Always.
choose these books. So that's
Shark
Shark
reminds
Stein.
me.
Yeah, they're vampires. They're planet-eating cephalopods.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've got a whole lot of stuff. Yes, Andrew, you do. You need to read these books as soon as possible.
Thank you.
I completely agree.
Joe, you were a SPSFC semifinalist, right?
I was an SPSFC semifinalist, yes, in 3. In 2, I was a first round cut. Then they let you resubmit, and I made it to semifinals in the second one. And I never made it. I was almost a Spiffbo semifinalist. I was one of those guys where the guy does the video, and he's like, I can't decide between these 2 books, but I'm going to talk about them both for like 10 minutes. And at the very end, I'm going to say, it's this one. And it was like, not me. I was like, it's crushing. So crushing. So I was this close to getting Bookborn to read my book. I was like a hair's breadth because I was in her. Like she didn't read, she had someone else like read like 5 and pass over 1 to her, and I didn't get there. So every time I see Zach, I'm like, dude, you got to get your wife to read. I didn't actually say that to Zach. I actually did meet Zach at a con, and I was really tempted. I'm like, can I buy you a drink? He's like, I don't drink, man. So it didn't work. But I tried. I don't know. One of these days, I'm gonna haunt them. I'm gonna go to Worldcon. I'm just gonna like hang around behind Bookborn. I'm like, you sure you don't want a book? I'm gonna get. It smells really good. I don't know. Maybe I'll put like a 20 in there, like between the pages. Like
May not be enough.
They sound amazing.
Am I next? I think I'm
Thank you.
next. If we're going counterclockwise.
in a circle. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, circle
Shoot for
squares, right? So I am Emily. I write under E.A. Hendryx. This is my book. It is the first in a trilogy. I do have my second book coming out where is the camera? There it is. Coming out in November, which is really exciting. I kickstarted these books, and I'm actually in the middle of fulfillment for my second book. So waiting on my hardcovers to arrive. I am a graphic designer, so I also designed my covers, and I work for a lot of different people who I design covers for as well. So that's a lot of fun. But Suspended in the Stars is I like to say it's the Greatest Showman meets Star Wars. Some people say Star Trek because I am a huge Star Trek nerd. The Next Generation is my absolute favorite. I'm a huge Picard fan. But yeah, so it is about a young woman who is hiding in a space circus and a soldier who's on the run, and together they team up to save the galaxy. So it's what I've heard from my readers is that it's a very fast paced, and then there's a lot of swoony romance, but it's all no spice. Men have read my book and they enjoy it, so I hear. I think that they actually love maybe the other cover. So this is my hardcover version. It's a little less romantic, but it's still pink and
That
blue,
one's
so
my
there's-
favorite. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
I like it as well.
Really good.
But yeah, I do have humor in it. It just kind of comes out naturally with characters, and the series is unique in that it is a trilogy. It will be completed in March. Hopefully March or April of 2025. I'll do my last Kickstarter. And each book follows a different couple. So you kind of get a different aspect of the series. So that was fun because book 1 is just 2 points of view. Book 2 is 5 points of view. And book 3, all bets are off. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Hey, you got to wrap up the story, right? So I threw all of my characters across the universe. So it will be interesting to see where they end up. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of different planets and different worlds, which I love exploring. So designed planet cards for those as well. So that's been kind of fun. It's just like that extra side of being a designer, but also writing the world. You kind of get to imagine it visually that way too. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I don't know what else to say.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Space
Okay.
Circus sounds cool.
Yes, Space Circus does sound awesome. All right, I guess I'm next. Hi, everybody. My name's Ericka Evren, and I write space opera, sci-fi. My first book is a little bit more like military. It's really fun. I released it a couple of years ago. It's currently in this giveaway, so be sure to sign up for that. Basically, it follows the story of a man on a different planet in a different galaxy. So it's kind of like Star Wars in that sense. And basically, we follow his journey from being this simple farmer clan person to going to the military and trying to live his dream of getting a starship. But when that actually happens, he learns through a series of events that.
Oh no!
Whoa.
We
Was
lost
dramatic.
her.
What
Wait.
does he
You wanna give me
learn?
spoilers? Might be
What does he
in
learn?
trouble. So.
Oh,
You cut out at the worst time. What
Oh,
does
no,
he
did I cut
learn?
out? Oh my
Yes.
God. Okay.
Right after you said where he learns that.
I think everything reset. Okay, so he learns that there's a deadly secret that his society's been hiding, and it might destroy him before the enemy can. Does that work? So, anyways, we follow Hendryx's story. And yeah, basically, the whole thing is really super fast paced. People have mentioned, my readers have mentioned that it's very similar to Stargate, that it's similar to Mass Effect. I've had Star Trek thrown in there. I've had, oh gosh, someone said Star Troopers, but there's no big bugs, so I don't know about that. But it's a lot of fun. So we follow Hendryx in this story, and then there's a huge time jump, but in the second story, we get a little bit more world building, a little bit slower mystery kind of feel. But yeah, my readers have loved it so far. It's my first story, but I feel like my writing has improved quite a bit since then. But yeah, I officially got it in bookstores this past week, so I was really excited about that. Woo! That's a big milestone for all of us indie authors. And what else can I tell you about it? Yeah, it's kind of like a mystery, military action, sci-fi. I've got tons of aliens. I have some cat people, kind of like Joe. I don't have any bears, but definitely a variety of alien races that I love to talk about and share in this story as well. If you like Titan AE, there's some hints of that in there. And yeah, it's overall a fun story. It's been my passion project since I was 13. So kind of got that out there and very excited to share it with the world. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've read it. It's great. I think Ericka does a really good job with her action scenes too. I was pulled right into them and very much enjoyed them.
Thank you, Bryan. That means a lot. That's the one thing I was nervous about with the sci-fi and this. Like, I didn't watch a ton of Star Trek, so they're in spaceships. Like, how do I write this? But it was so fun, and yeah, I hope you guys give it a try. So,
Yeah.
I actually put it on my Kindle as well.
Yep.
I'm like super excited. Finished,
There
Caleb.
we go.
I know I'm gonna have to read all your guys' book. I've read Bryan's. I'm halfway done. I'm almost there. Just life's been crazy right now. I promise I'll finish it. And everyone else is definitely on my TBR. Like, I gotta read all of Joe's now and Aaron's. Yours looks amazing. Definitely excited for that cyberpunk Blade Runner feel. Yeah.
Pre-ordered for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Ericka, you hooked me when you said Stargate.
Oh,
Stargate
yay!
SG-1, right?
Same.
Yes,
Same.
Stargate SG-1. Yeah.
Okay. I love Stargate SG-1, so I'm down. I am so down.
My galaxy kind of runs on spaceships, but then there's also the R-Cross, which carries things across the galaxy. So.
Love it.
All right, I guess, is that me?
It's you.
Okay. I didn't realize I was going to have to grab my book, but all right. This is my book. It's Umbra. It's the first in the Sentient Stars. It was going to be a trilogy, but now it's 4 books.
I did not know that.
At least I don't have 25 planned, Joe.
Joe, come on.
For now,
Joe's
for
having
now,
fun.
4.
Just wait.
Just wait. So it is a space opera with a side of slow burn romance. It's set 10,000 years after humanity has left Earth. It follows 3 points of view, a rogue, a commander, and an admiral. And it's in a time when the tribes of Earth are on the brink of war, and pilots are bonded with their sentient starships for life. So that is
Wow.
I
That
love the
sounds really good.
starships. They're so
Mhm.
fun.
the starships
They
are
really are.
snarky and fun.
They're
Yep.
really good.
Yeah, it was.
They're really good.
It's
See?
Yeah. it's really
comps
Right there.
are
Mhm.
it's like Battlestar Galactica and meets Red Rising. I've also gotten The Expanse as a comp. So it's very classic sci-fi feel, but it's very focused on the humanity aspect. So it's very character driven.
The splash of Dragon Riders of Berne.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my favorite as a kid. So yeah, I could definitely see that coming in.
And I love your cover too, as well, Amber. The foil work on there, this looks
Oh man.
top.
Oh
notch.
yeah, I'm fulfilling my Kickstarter right now as well. So all the hardcovers have gone out. I'm packing the paperbacks and then I'm stenciling edges this weekend. Emily, we've been studying yours. Yours is so pretty.
I'm really excited for book 2. It's even like more intense. So I will think of you
Are you
fondly
doing that
because it takes forever.
Are you doing that one yourself
Yeah.
for book 2?
I
It's super
did-
intense.
Yeah, I did some for the first one, but yeah, it's a little different. We tested it out a couple of weeks ago, so I finally got it down. I'm happy with it, but it takes some time. Nice.
That looks stunning.
So pretty.
Mhm.
Yeah, Amber's got a whole kind of ancient Earth, what happened, mystery vibe to her story too, which that definitely pulled me in big time.
That might be important in the series arc.
And then, last but not least,
Me? All right. Hi, I'm Katee. And actually, Earthbound just released this last week. So it was very exciting. My first book I wrote was a science fiction as well, but this baby is my science fantasy sort of blend. It's a second planet sort of story where we're not connected to Earth at all. We're doing our own thing. I shoot real big with my comps here, so get ready because I go all out. It's Way of Kings meets Dune meets The Mandalorian. So,
Oh, I love it.
are you ready?
But it fits. It fits. It's there.
It does fit. Yeah, it's. I think the difference is just take those massive epic sort of things and just bring them down to a really character-driven sort of focused story, and that's more the heart of it. So kind of expansive sort of world with lots of unique physics in it, but the whole magic system is based on oaths of power, thus the Way of Kings nod. So the words that you speak are really powerful, and the characters get really tangled up in all of that.
Oh, wow.
And so we watch them try to,
Detangle.
Detangle. Yeah. That's about it. So basically, the consequences are super intense for them on an individual level and on a world level, kind of as we move forward. So.
It looks so awesome. I can't wait. Woohoo!
It's really good. I had the chance to read it. Excellent. I love the
goodness.
world building. I especially loved the like Dune feeling that you get from it. But then it's also unique. And then also there's parts that I wanted to like slap Katee because there's some stuff that happens.
I've heard of this.
But I
This is
can't
like-
do it.
This is my
It's mostly
biggest
romantically
people-
related. So
people coming at me and
But-
yelling at me, which I
but she
think
does
is
it
a-
well. You gotta hang in there.
Emily, on that note, whose team are you on?
You know what? So the funny thing is that if we're talking about this is so YA of me, but like if we're talking about Twilight teams, I was always with the person who the person finally ends up with. So I've always been Team Edward. Yes, I know that's not what you're saying, but with Katee, I can't tell. Like I don't know. So now I'm not really sure. Quite honestly, I have to read book 2 to know.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you should have seen me, man. Katee, I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? No, don't do it. But it was excellent.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Thank
Very
you.
well
I think
done.
that the whole point was a goal as I've like been working through this. I started writing this one back in 2020. And so in the edits has been increasingly just trying to work on that tension. And from readers' responses, like kind of coming in over the last week, I feel like I might have hit on it a little bit, which I'm really excited about. So there's, I'm taking everybody's anger with
That's a good
joy.
sign.
So,
Oh man.
yeah, so we're kind of alluding to it. There is a romantic subplot to the story. I think it's pretty well balanced. I'm kind of getting a good mix. So it's not, if you're looking for a romantasy, this is not it. And yet, you know, there's just kind of this really personal high stakes and relationship high stakes that get tangled into world.
Wow.
So yeah.
Sounds so
And
good.
it's so good.
That's good. That's good.
And with it having a Dune influence, we got any big worms in here too?
Oh yeah, this is the coolest thing. So Earthbound are actually, they move through the earth. So it was like kind of inspired about the idea of like not just sand, but what if creatures could create like liquefactions around themselves? So if Earth could fluidize, and then they create this bubble around themselves, and now we got like people falling into the earth and getting sucked into the earth. And,
He sold me. He sold me.
Yep, sold.
I'm down.
That was really fun. So like trying to like dream up like what sort of like reptilian aquatic blend of creature could you make that can move through the earth and eat people.
Ooh.
Right?
I'm thinking of like
That's
a
nice.
cephalopod or something like.
Actually, my favorite, it's called a rig shot, and I think it's hilarious because it's kind of formed after a manatee, which are like the most squishy, adorable things ever.
I know.
Because, like, you could form like a really deep liquefaction, so the person is just gone, and then they just gnaw on me. And I thought that was great. Deadly manatees.
Sounds awesome.
Sounds like it belongs in Joe's book.
Yeah. You guys can do crossover.
Yes.
Giant land sharks meets underground
Yeah.
earthbound
There you go.
creatures. That's a terrifying world.
I have these ancient cephalopods who create like wormholes that connect all the oceans. So the entire, basically the galaxy is one ecosystem because like bacteria and like small shellfish and stuff manage to travel, through them by accident. So this is my way of explaining why everyone eats the same stuff and they're biologically similar because it's, so from their perspective, the whole universe is like a giant ocean with like stuff floating above it that nobody cares about, there's space up there somewhere, but we don't notice it. That was always my my little nod to a Dune-like thing, this the under, right? You're in this giant underneath a place. So, but no
Like you're into the
sandworms.
center of
That's
the
just
earth.
yeah. Oh, I love those stories. I always love those stories. The Hollow Earth stuff. Burrows, I think.
Or like
Yeah.
Atlantis, where there's another world under the ocean. Like I love Atlantis. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Atlantis shows up in here.
Oh, with the jaws.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Joe, come on, man.
Spoilers.
Sorry.
Something to look forward to there, Aaron.
Yeah.
Kitchen
Hey,
sink.
I've only read Wistful Ascending, so I got
There's a
Oh,
shark
who's
on the cover. You probably
24
could've-
books left.
Yeah, 4.
So I know we just talked about some amazing books, but guess what? There are more books that we didn't even talk about because they're not
Yes.
here. We said it earlier. They're on the opposite side of the globe, and they're probably sleeping right now. Sleeping on the job. Right?
Some of them. I don't think Sam's getting much sleep.
No,
these days.
Sam's not
No.
sleeping.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Sam. But
Daddy
congratulations.
over there.
Congrats, Sam.
And let me share the image here again. And I know, Brian, we had some blurbs that come from the few that couldn't come.
Yeah, I'm
for
just gonna.
Calum,
I will. We asked them to each send us,
Mhm.
the best way to blurb their book. So I'm just gonna read straight from it. The first one I have here is Calum's, which
This
is
one right here.
Dirge for Cascius.
Love this cover, by the way.
It looks
Beautiful.
so
Oh,
good.
yeah. Amazing cover. And his is this is part one of an epic space opera that is part True Detective, part Hyperion. Cue Joe. Great for fans of James S.A. Corey and Christopher Verrocchio's Sun Eater. The first installment of a duology, this tale is full of inner struggle, fellowship, mystery, futuristic technology, and a galaxy brimming with different races.
Ooh.
Wow.
Has anyone here read
Definitely
it?
on my TBR.
I read it and I finished last night.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
So good.
so yeah, like you can just tell that the amount of like thought and detail that he's put into his world building is just really next level, kind of mind boggling. I was really like blown away by, because nothing feels like, sometimes it can just be like rambling. This was not rambling. You knew that each of these things like had a history, had a purpose, were all woven in, and you're just like, okay, I just need to like be a part of this. So it was just, I don't know, I loved it. And especially like last 25%, I just burned through, like wildly imaginative. I don't know, it was really good.
Always the sign of a great book.
Yeah.
And he already hooked me when he said Hyperion, because that's my favorite book of all time. So I was like, all right, you say that word, I'm down. I'm down to read. So yeah, I think I'm reading Calum's in November, and I'm reading Amber's too. So
Woohoo.
I got two of you guys in November very soon.
And there's a buddy read is it for Calum's book going on
Yes.
in
Starting tomorrow.
oh my gosh, Sci-Fi
SFF?
Insiders Discord.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Insider.
So if anyone wants to come join, they're really fun. So
Cool.
Nice.
Let me share the screen again. Bring up the other covers here. Who we got next over here, Brian?
All right. Next up, we got Herman, which is Eclipse right there.
So
Looking
good.
good.
And so this, his blurb is, for Django, life on the Eclipse space station is a constant struggle, but it's the only life he knows. When a mysterious glitch in the station's viewport reveals that everything he believes about his world is a lie, Django's reality is shattered, and a deadly accident confirms that the space station admin know more than they let on. With his best friend Eventide by his side, Django must risk everything to unravel the conspiracy that has enslaved them all. As Django races against time to save what's left of his family and expose the shattering reality beyond the station walls, he'll have to decide just how far he's willing to go to break free of the lies that have defined him. A thrilling sci-fi adventure perfect for fans of Pierce Brown, Hugh Howey, and A.G. Riddle.
Ooh.
Yeah, I read this one. It was really good. It was very intriguing, and Herman did a really good job of like keeping us invested in the story and following. There's two POVs, so it was really interesting to hop between the two and see how they intermingled in the middle, and like right at the end, of course, when now we gotta find out what happens in the next one. But yeah, he did a really good job.
That looks awesome. I'm really interested in Herman's fantasy story too, the cozy fantasy.
Yeah.
That looks
Oh, it looks so good.
Bartender
Yeah.
very fun. Looks so much fun.
I'm waiting for my copy to arrive on that one. I'm excited.
The Kickstarter that went bananas, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And another Canadian.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
so
four of
happy
us,
that-
actually.
Yeah.
That this stream is working right now, because last week I was talking of Herman. We couldn't talk for more than 2 minutes without our streams just crashing. So I'm so
Aw.
happy that we're all working right here. We're fine. We're live. 38 minutes in. We're good.
Yeah.
Let me share the screen one more time. I think we got one more.
Yeah, the last one is Sam Paisley, the new parent of the group. Congrats, Sam. on that.
Congrats, Sam.
Yay.
I think his wife gave birth about 4 days ago or something like that.
He should be here.
Not a good enough
Whoa
excuse.
now.
But yeah, so his I think the first book is The Winds of Change. His series is The Elements of Time. And his is Star Wars meets Avatar, The Last Airbender. Other influences are Stargate SG-1 and Supernatural. It is a sci-fantasy adventure, elemental magic, cosmic war, and timeless beings. I've read Sam's book. I absolutely loved it. I think he has one of the most mind-blowing endings to his book that definitely in the indie space, and even I'd put it up there in the trad space. And it's very well written, and yeah, when I read that book, I couldn't even tell the difference if it was indie, trad, anything. It's very good. It's got Padawan like soldiers, portal magic, just really really good time.
Bryan, can you explain to me portal magic real quick? The concept of a portal sounds cool, but what does that mean?
Well, it's basically it's a portal. So he's you can travel between different worlds, different dimensions in his.
It's like Doctor Strange, where he like.
Oh,
yeah, I think
awesome.
it is. I've read it a while ago, but yeah, I think it is like that. So
Very cool.
yeah, it's a good book.
Look at that.
Matt, if you sign up for the giveaway, you might win and get all these 10 books for
We
free.
got 10 books. You got to enter it.
Might not cost
All
anything
signed.
but your time and your soul. I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to mention the last part. Just your time. That's what it. Yeah.
That's awesome. And we got Shane in here too, reading Dirge as well. So
Woohoo.
good. I'm so excited to read that. And then Joe, real quick, your ocean concept reminds me of the Spore Drive in Star Trek Discovery. Oh,
I have not seen that. I love Star Trek, but I don't have whatever streaming service Discovery's on. So one day I'll catch up on all this stuff probably when I retire. Hopefully soon.
Do writers retire?
Wow, retire from my day job.
Oh yes, the day job.
The day job. Yeah.
Yeah, those all sound amazing. Wow.
I'm pumped. Can I enter myself, Bryan? Or no?
Why not?
Well, that would make up our 100. We're at 97 subscribers. So thanks everybody who's subscribed. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very exciting. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to start reading. So
yeah. And it goes to what? 7 o'clock. We're about 22 hours from it being cut off. So if anyone's interested, go on there and enter now.
Everyone watch right now. If you haven't joined the giveaway just yet, go do it. You know, why not? Plus, I don't know if we even said this yet or not, but I think we did. There's 2 winners in this thing, right? So there's gonna be 2 people winning 10 books each across the globe. I think it's insane.
Signed books.
It's almost 20 books.
And they're signed, yeah.
And international, across the world.
International.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the best thing because I whine a lot when it's like a European thing, and I'm like the one grumbling, like, oh, I never giveaways for Canada, boo boo hoo, and then now, so if you're like me and you whine all the time, just stop whining and then do the giveaway. This is for time.
I think one of the winners from the last giveaway I did with some other indie authors, they were in Germany. So yeah, for sure. Don't hesitate. Join up. You might be the lucky one.
Yeah.
There we go. Already entered. Thank you, Chrome Coder.
Nice. Yeah.
Thank you, Chrome.
Thank you.
And thanks for everybody else. Yeah.
For sure.
So I guess I got a question for you guys in terms of sci-fi in general, right? This is the 10 Wonders of Sci-Fi giveaway. So why did you guys start to write in sci-fi? What drew you into the genre? Anything in particular? Was it space worms, Katie? Or you just had to write about space worms, right?
For me, it was that was something my dad was watching. Like we watched all the Star Wars. I think Star Wars was the first sci-fi I ever watched, and I loved it. And yeah, it was definitely my dad was the reason why I got into it. Like it was all the action films, like Blade Runner, all the sci-fi, all the genres. Like it was that kind of got me into like, well, maybe I can write my own story. And yeah, Stargate definitely heavily influenced my book, Mission of the Rorark. But the first rendition I wrote was definitely more of a fanfic. So I had to recultivate all my good ideas and like make it different, make it unique. So yeah, definitely just the love of sci-fi, and just you can really do anything. Like you're free to make up your own rules. You're free to like, if their blood's blue, it's blue, or if they have, faster than light travel, they can do that, or like Joe's book with the the whole idea of the oceans and everything being connected, like it's limitless, and there doesn't have to be like a sound reason behind it. And I think that's also why fantasy is really cool too, because it just works, and you have a whole playground to just play in and explore and do different things. So
I feel really similar to that, Ericka, because like as I said earlier, love Star Trek. I watched it as a kid. I'd come home from school and just like, I just love that they were always going on new adventures, and it wasn't slow. It wasn't, kind of monotonous or anything. I was like, ooh, what's this next alien race that they're going to uncover? And I know it's going to look really cheesy, but I still love it. Like I'm there for it. And and then that love just grew. And then I read, I've been writing sci-fi for a long time, like for myself before I published, but I read Red Rising, and just like, I think my mind just expanded even more. So that's definitely one of my all-time favorite books. And so just kind of being able to like step into that space even and be like, oh, I want to write this kind of sprawling world, like this galaxy really, to be able to explore different planets, different universes, things like that. And then I found myself being like, oh, and my characters have special powers. So I guess that happened, so just kind of adding in, I was like, oh, I guess I write science fantasy really. I can never just keep it to straight science. Even though I love reading sci-fi, I will never write it because I just don't have the brain for it. So I think for me, it was just that like early love of it. And like you were saying, just it can span and be whatever you want it to be. And to me, like that's the best part of it. There's no restrictions really.
That's right. Yeah, I love that too. Red Rising is also what got me back into reading as a kid, or as an adult, because as a kid I read everything, and then for whatever reason I stopped, and then I was like, I should get back into reading, and it was Red Rising. So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here.
That was me too, Ericka. I stopped reading for fun when I had kids. I thought everything I read then had to be for like work and my career, right? Like all your time has to be like hyper productive. And then I got to a point in my career where I was like, I'm allowed to pick a fun book, and I picked up Red Rising.
Red Rising.
Awesome.
Oh, so yeah, that's what got me back into reading as well. And then actually, just like both of you, I was a Star Wars kid growing up, like, all the action figures, my posters, and I watched all the Star Treks with my mom, Star Wars with my dad. Nice. Total nerd kid. Yeah. And then, so I grew up to be a data scientist, and it's actually like that involvement in developing AI that made me think about, what if we had fully sentient AI and they had their own culture and they had wanted to experience life as their creators did? So that's where they are bonded with a human and they share a human life. And when they die, they transmit their consciousness back to one great AI, kind of like a nirvana. And that was the idea that sparked my universe for Sentient Stars.
Cool. So that's really awesome.
Love it.
Definitely.
I had like this family that totally they don't like science fiction. They don't like science. I came to the whole like science fiction fantasy world like late in my high school years. I had a couple friends that started to introduce me to some sci-fi books and stuff. Just like read Lord of the Rings. I think I was in grade 11 or 12. So it was pretty late for me. But I always loved reading like popular science magazines and popular mechanics. I love the idea of like what ifs. And so I think that's what draws me, is like, there's always this seed idea. Like my first book, it's like very genetic sort of stuff, so it's like, well, what if it went this way instead of that way? What if we got, and then all of a sudden, like you said, you take this small little idea and it blooms into like a whole world and a whole, kind of universe that you're working in or whatever and stuff. But I'm like, I dragged my whole family into all the nerddom.
You're coming.
That's awesome.
You don't have a choice.
It's better. It's better over
my
here.
kids them that it was all cool. They're teenagers now. They're like, wait a minute, we've been lied to.
I think I'm the same way as you guys. Star Wars kid growing up. But then I went to Blade Runner, and that just blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, my world has transformed. And that's kind of where, if I were to write anything, it would have to be cyberpunk, because it's just the genre that just pulls me the most at the moment. And that's kind of one thing I love about sci-fi in general compared to fantasy, is that you can have your magic system in fantasy. but you can have technology do the exact same thing in sci-fi. I love that. You can have a wizard do some sort of fire spell, while you can have a guy that has a gun that shoots out flames as well, right?
Yeah.
In sci-fi. So I just love technology.
We can have
and I
both.
love-
Yeah.
Both is good.
Both is good.
One in each hand.
Wizard staff. Yes.
I got that El Dorado reference.
Yeah, thanks.
So sci-fi is just awesome. I love it.
Yeah, for me, it was
Wonderful.
just, I was more predominantly actually a fantasy reader growing up, got into The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Wheel of Time, all that stuff. But then once I got into Ender's Game, Star Wars, Red Rising, as we've said, just, it's all just so good. And I've always had this fascination with outer space, the mysteries out there. So for me, it was just about kind of writing a story set out in space, set away with this whole ancient, civilization mystery thing going on that connects back to our planet and the things we don't know about it. And yeah, I meshed it into all these fantasy stories I love with Chosen One prophecy, sword wielding fights, this whole engaged magic system that it bends around. So at least when I came up with the idea 20 years ago, there wasn't much like that, meshing those two, kind of a very equal genre blend, and or at least that I hadn't read. So that was my aim into it.
That's what I love about yours too, Brian. Like yours, I like that idea that they've been on Earth all this time, but there's things they don't know about it that are secret, or like I really like that element of your book. That's one of the things I enjoy about it for sure.
Yeah, I've always been a huge nerd of, ancient civilizations, that whole, I never watched Ancient Aliens, but kind of that whole concept of, the mysteries of, we have we have a dated history of a little tiny span of our
Exactly.
human race's time on this planet. So I just thought it'd be really cool to kind of take that interest I had in that and make my own story, but kind of devised in a very fantasy way.
Love it.
See, I've been a comic guy my whole life, and comic books are science fantasy for the most part. Right? You have Doctor Strange and Iron Man fighting side by side against Thanos. That's a science fantasy story, right? That's magic and technology hand in hand. And you want to add in aliens, and you want to add in secret history of Earth and Atlantis. Namor, this, right? All that stuff. That is the comic, the genre. It's not really a genre, but people don't call it that. You don't see it. You didn't used to see it as much combined that way in literature. There weren't a lot of books that had that setting, but it was all of comics and all in a lot of movies. People say like, "Oh, science fantasy is so interesting and odd and unique," and I'm like, really? It's like the biggest media franchises on the planet: Star Wars, Marvel Comics universe, DC universe. That's science fantasy. It's not like a hit. This fringe thing that only 3 people have ever heard of.
It's massive.
It's just
worldwide.
It's just not as massive in the literary world. It's there, right? But it's not as big. So that's always my take on it. Is I mean, if I could draw, Wistful Ascending probably would have been a comic. It was the number, the 2 top like inspirations were like Dragon Ball Z and Invincible. Invincible is a comic. Dragon Ball Z. Well, Dragon Ball Z was a manga. I mean, before it was an anime. I watched the anime, but those are my biggest influences. So yeah, and that's
Very
also
cool.
Well, that's why I like it so much, Joe. I love DBZ.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of DBZ DNA in these books. So yeah, I really enjoyed those shows. So
I think the thing I love about writing too is that we can take all the things that we love and kind of take the bits that touch us the most, like our hearts and our minds, and like mesh them together to make something completely unique and different, but still a nod to where they come from. Like, I think that's also one of the things I love about sci-fi is that you can merge basically, like you said, superheroes, sci-fi, fantasy, and to make a different world, a different galaxy, what have you. Like, it's limitless.
You can steal what you love, and you can fix the things that annoyed you. See, I'm a curmudgeon, right? There'll be like a plot twist that I'm like, this didn't make sense. Like someone should have thought of this strategy earlier. and I'll take something like that and I'll make it the crux of like my entire series, which I've done. There's like one thing in Invincible that bugged me in like volume 9, and I'm like, I don't want that. So what if I turn that on its head, and that's going to be my world building?
Just writing over here.
No, I'm a spite right. Well, it's like fanfic, but it's more angry fanfic. Yeah, it has to be something I really love, but there's one thing about it that bothers. It's not something where I hate it. I'm not going to write about something I hate. It'd be something where I really like it, but there's a thing that bugs me, and then I'm like, oh, if I could just, if only this one couple. It's like fanfic, right? If only this one couple could get together, you write a ship, right? Mm-hmm. Right. That's because they don't get together in the book, or they do, but it's not on page. I'm going to write my erotic fanfic, right? That's the core of what people do, right? I don't write that. I don't write. That's not my thing to write, but yet I'm going to write a special edition of Wistful Ascending on Kickstarter where all the fade to black scenes are filled in.
Yeah.
20,000 words of smut just jammed right in between the chapters.
And then you can get your cover.
That's going to expand your audience.
I'm going to have this cover, but there's also going to be his girlfriend on the side, but like naked. And I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Special editions, right?
Yeah. Kickstarter, man. You want the nude cover? You got to pony up.
Well, you just dressed them again, so now you need a new character to start.
Yeah, there we go.
Process all over again.
Oh, that's really funny.
We're picking on Joe's right now.
That's good.
I wanted to put it on the screen one more time here because we're getting close to the end here. Look at these amazing books here on the screen. 10 books you can win if you enter. It's so easy, right? 1, you have an Instagram. 2, you follow all the rules, all 100 rules, and that's it.
Just 10 authors to follow, and
It's so easy.
2 rules.
2 rules, see?
Mm-hmm.
Well, any last words, Bryan?
I think we covered everything. Come on, chat, get us to 100. That's that was the goal coming into it, so we're right there.
We're at 97, right? So with 3 more?
We were a couple hours ago, so 3 more.
So close.
We might already be there. I don't know. I'll have to check. Which would be amazing because, that's a good reach. And thank everybody for posting it and sharing it and tagging your friends. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So it really means a lot to us authors to have your guys' input and reading it and your enthusiasm and your excitement. That's what fuels us. That's what helps us keep writing and helping these stories come out. So it's all for you guys.
Perfectly said.
Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. And thank you guys for being here with me on this stream. I had a blast. And thanks again. Hope you have a good night.
So much fun.
Thanks for hosting, Aaron.
Thanks for hosting.
Thanks,
Thanks
everyone.
for having us. All right. Have a good night.
See you guys.
Woo! Good luck.
Take care.
Peace.
Bye.